Welcome back to Etheria Restart. Today is the day that you, 1, need to unlock Plume, and 2, need to max her out. We just pulled Plume on my account, and she has been an absolute monster. Hermes and I today are going to be talking about why she's going to be so detrimental to your account and one of the best animus inside of Etheria Restart. Before I go any further, though, if you've never played the game, use this QR code or my link in the description to download the game for free and to get yourself 10 free summons. And again, we need to thank Etheria Restart for sponsoring today's video. Hermes, I really am excited about having Plume on the account. I know that you're excited about helping me build out Plume and build teams with her. And something that I've noticed right here that everyone's noticing from watching the video is that her S1, her S2, and her S3 are all max level already, and it's because she is that good. I want to start the discussion with you as to where she's being used, what she's actually doing, and why she's a must max today animus inside of the game.
Yeah, so Plume is insane. I think obviously, like the big reason why is because they're doing the global launch, and so they want to get as much money as they can with by having people buy their Apex prototypes as soon as they can and bring Plume onto their accounts. She is crazy. She brings so many debuffs, so many valuable debuffs, as well as turn meter boosting, decreasing the speed of your opponents, and she brings the buff strip. She is the only animus in the game that brings a buff strip and a defense break on the same ability, and on top of that it's a triple hitter, so the chances that she doesn't land this is crazy low. And this is what's awesome about her as well. Obviously you got her max lattice invested.
Yes.
She is good without any lattice. Because of the way her kit is set up, she is good without any lattice. As long as you've got some decent effect accuracy on her and some decent speed, she's going to be great. She's just so good. And honestly, even if you only have 5 Apex prototypes, use them trying for the chance to summon her is because she is so good.
Yeah, I mean, the excitement that that Hermes had when I was getting Plume in the account and that he was going to be able to, help me build her out and really build out teams around her was something that we haven't seen since we were doing our original polls inside of the game when it started. That's how good Plume actually is. So this is just the first video that we're going to have of multiple videos showcasing how Plume can dominate throughout the game in different stages of the game. This one kind of breaking down. We already did her skills in a previous video and you guys know what her skills do, but I want to take a look at her modules, her shell, and really pick your brain, Hermes, so that I can best utilize her and be the most efficient with her. I want to know where we're going to be using her and how well she's been doing, and really just break it down a little bit more in depth so people know what they should be doing with Plume.
Yeah, so I think the big thing, obviously, when we talk about, I think her going into her kit is just obviously, you've maxed out everything, so that is really good. You had the lattice to invest, so you invested the lattice into that. But for those players that don't have all 12 lattice, I think that she is an animus that you should work to and fully investing into because of how good she is and how good her kit is. But she doesn't need it to be good. So if we had to go through, let's just go through skill by skill and kind of figure out where you should invest your lattice and how many you really need to make her work.
Okay, that
And
sounds
so I
good.
think the first thing to start off with, you're already on it, is that A1 ability. So what you'll look at and you'll see is that obviously you get up to 6% damage boost and decreasing the speed from 2 points up to 3 points by getting that max lattice. On this S1, honestly, you only really, because the accuracy is 100% chance to inflict, you only really need the first 2 lattice to get up to that damage boost by 6%. It starts at 4.5 base percent and goes up to 6. That 1.5% extra damage boost per is very, very valuable because when it's fully maxed out at 10 stacks, it goes from 45% damage, extra damage boost, up to 60% extra damage boost. And that 15% is big in games like this. And so I think if you were all to invest in this, but not fully invest into it, you only really need the first 2 lattice to make her valuable on this S1.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I like that you're breaking down how to do a more budget approach to this as well. Not saying budget because it still takes lattice, but if for people that don't have all the lattice to do this, it's possible to make her completely dominant without completely maxing everything. Let's take a look at the S2. Is it the same situation over there?
So the S2 actually is interesting. So you'll see this one is a little bit more of a value you'll get from maxing it. And so the first thing you'll get is you'll get 6.5% turn meter boost every time an enemy takes a turn. The second level makes it from a 50 to a 75% chance of that cursed quill. Level four or like lattice number three invested makes up to turn meter boost by 8%. And then that level five makes it 100%
Hmm.
a chance to apply that cursed quill. So the thing with this ability is obviously, you when the more percentage chance you get, the easier it's going to be for your accuracy. You're not going to need nearly as much, and that's going to make everything a lot easier when it comes to these abilities. Now, I would say on this one, honestly, if you're talking like very, very budget,
Hmm.
I would say you only really need to put in one lattice to increase that turn meter effect. I think as you want to take her more into arena and to RTA, you really will want to get it up at least to three lattice investments, get that 8% turn meter boost, because that 8% is really going to help you out. But if you only have the lattice to invest two into that first ability and then one into her S2, I think that getting that first level is still going to have a lot of value to you and your every person's account.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I mean, I also, I do always like a good 100%. So let's go on to the S3 and break down if it's the same situation over there.
Yeah, so the S3, this one is interesting because again, you have to remember that it is a three hitter, right? So when everything is maxed out, you have a 45% chance to dispel one buff, and you have a 45% a chance to apply that defense break and the weakness. What you'll see is that very first lattice, you increase the dispel chance to 45%. Level two, you increase the duration of the weakness from one turn up to two turns. Level three, you increase the chance to apply the defense break and the weakness up to 45%. And then on that fourth lattice,
Hmm.
you're going to reduce the skill cooldown by one turn. So I think if you're talking supreme budget. I mean, I'm talking like you've just maxed out a different character. You have barely any lattice in your account. I think investing that one lattice to increase the dispel chance is going to be really valuable because you really want to make sure she's dispelling the buffs as much as you can to really strip, thinking about all these bosses, strip that immunity, strip the increased speed, whatever it might be, and then have a more chances to apply that defense break and that weakness as you go through these abilities. So I think increasing that one is very valuable. Now, if you have a little bit more lattice, but you're not looking to fully invest into her, I think taking it up to that level four or three lattice investment would be really valuable because it increases, again, that chance of that defense break and that weakness. So if you're looking for a budget build, like I'm talking like ultra high budget, I
Hmm.
would say you probably want to start off with investing about four lattice into her. Then your mid tier, someone who's got like some lattice save but doesn't have a full 12, they're willing to invest into Plume. I would say you'd probably be looking at more like six lattice, I think is what it is, right? Yeah, six lattice to
Hmm.
invest to really get some more extra value out of her kit. But once you have the full 12, you really unlock her full potential. And I think there's a lot of value in maxing out, getting all 12 lattice invested into her because of also the stats, the speed, the effect accuracy, the HP that she all gets from these lattice boosts, in addition to the chances of applying, the increased turn meter, and everything else in her kit. It really is valuable to fully max her.
Got it. So your recommendation is if you're someone sitting on the lattice, she is a great investment of all that lattice. If you're someone that's not, the other options that you shared are what you would recommend, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely. And even if you only have one or two lattice, you should still put them on Plume. Like she is that valuable that you should 100% even as you farm up more lattice, you should start investing them into her as soon as you can because you will see the results in your account.
Got it. Love it. And I mean, that's literally the advice that you gave me for my account. I had the lattice. We put it all in, and we're good to go there. Should we take a quick look at her modules to see how we built her out here?
Yeah, I think this is actually really interesting. So there was a build that I was theorizing about using, and it was like,
Hmm.
oh, maybe like this might be a fun build to try out. And what that build was that was getting a and so you see on this initial build that we've got, I think this is kind of like the finalized build. And it's a very high speed. You're looking at Swift Rush, Swift Smite, and then kind of whatever other pieces have fast pieces
Hmm.
with effect accuracy. You want three effect accuracy modules on the right hand side, and then just speed, effect accuracy, and HP on the other modules. And you'll see she's sitting up there at plus 183, so right around 309, 312 speed, I think. So she's very high speed, which is
Mhm.
really, really good. You really want that in a unit like this, be able to cycle those turns really fast. But if we look in that year selector, we actually had another like theory build that I was working on, possibly like we were talking about maybe using. And what this was is a bramble build. And
Yeah.
what's interesting about this one is it has a 25% chance to counterattack with the basic attack. Now, in my thinking with this is, oh, she'll counterattack. She has an AoE on that A1 or that S1, whatever you want to call it. And so she'd be able to then apply even more stacks of that curse quilt faster. Now, obviously, the problem as you look at the shell, you'll see that's an amber shell, which isn't really a super valuable shell for her. Obviously, it'll keep her alive if she's getting nuked, but she's the kind of character that you don't really want to worry about getting nuked. And so then we went with a shell like a Jackal Guard, made her a little bit faster, get a little bit more accuracy, and then get someone that really is going to help her again cycle those turns with that increased speed and that increased turn meter. So I think this is a better overall build, but I want to hear what like other people, like maybe someone else has tried a bramble build and goes, man, the bramble is really where it's at. That's what you need to try out,
Mhm.
and just see if that is a worthwhile build to use. And if people want to see testing with the bramble, just see how that works. Obviously, I'm sure we can figure that out and get some bramble testing done. But I just thought that was an interesting build to try out. But it just didn't. She just is so fast and cycles her turns so quickly, anyways, that it just didn't seem like it was needed to stack up that curse quill because of everything else that was in her kit.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. I do love that there's multiple builds here that are being tested. Obviously, a new animus dropping inside of the game. You want to figure out ways to utilize her, get the most out of her, but also creative ways as well, as you're talking about with that bramble. Where is she best used? And I know what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna ask it for everyone else. Where is she best used inside of the game, and how has she changed gameplay for our current teams?
Everywhere. This
Yeah.
is an insane animus. She is good in all teams. Um, Doing some testing on a couple different bosses, but I think that she will probably be good in all three threshold bosses, especially being a light dark unit and make sure not have a weak affinity, which is really good. But I think she'll be good in all three threshold bosses. Basically, every boss that you can apply debuffs to in the shell bosses. So everybody but um, was it Sharon and then Shadowflame Hoyan. You really go with the dot team anyways. So other than those two shell bosses, she's good everywhere in there. She's good in your Ethernet Rally. She's good in the Ember Trek. She is good in the your what is that Union Boss. She's good everywhere because of the debuffs, the strip, and everything else that she brings, as well as the turn meter boosting. She is just crazy good in any content you can put her into.
Now I love that because again, one light dark unit, it's going to be difficult, a little bit more difficult to pull her. So when you do, and when you do the investment like you're talking about and recommending here, you want to be putting that into an animus that you are going to be able to use in so many places inside of the game. Now I know Hermes
Okay.
that we have some videos planned up to do some features and highlights of her. Do you want to give a little bit of a tease on what people could look forward to in a couple of days here on the channel?
I think that the biggest one is going to be Aurora. She has really boosted your Inferno Aurora team to the point where you're doing like 45-second clears with like, I mean, a decently built, a pretty decently built, I would say, Lilium, but it's not like a crazy, crazy built Lilium. And so I think that'll be interesting to see, as well as Terramatan. She's really unlocked that, getting a lot faster clears there as well. I think those are the two biggest areas to watch out for her in.
All right, so those videos are going to be coming. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on them. And again, guys, I hope that you guys are able to unlock Plume on your accounts. I need to thank Etheria Restart for sponsoring today's video. And again, if you're considering playing the game, the code down below gets you the game for free with 10 free summons. We'll see you back here tomorrow with another video.